Harry and Meghan face losing Duke and Duchess of Sussex title. William is furious and Charles is sad. I think they must actually come to an end of this spitefulness, said royal commentator Angela Levin. A new proposal by Conservative MP Bob Seely concerning Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has sparked renewed discussion about the pair's titles. Welcome to Royal Pancakes. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notifications bell, so you don't miss any news about the British monarchy. Seely, who is set to present his Titles Deprivation 1917 Act Amendment Bill in Parliament in the coming weeks, which would strip the royal couple of all titles. Seely wrote in the Mail on Sunday, saying, "I believe that Parliament and the Privy Council should consider a nuclear option. If someone doesn't want to be royal, that is a decision we respect, but they should not keep the titles and privileges if they trash an institution that plays an important part in our nation's life." Royal commentator Angela Levin joined Leo Kearse on GB News to discuss the potential move, and what it would mean for the royal family. Leo began, "Angela, what do you make of this royal racism row? Do you think it was a publicity stunt to sell more copies of this book?" Levin replied, "Well, I'm sure it was one thing that they'd set up. It was either a publicity stunt or they wanted to be absolutely as nasty as possible. I think if Harry and also Meghan don't actually threaten to sue the author, then there's something really wrong, because that means they've accepted it. They might even like it, and it is just appalling. They haven't said a word. You know they're copying the royals. They can't bear it when the royals don't speak, and now they're not saying a word. I think they must actually come to an end of this spitefulness. And it just shows how important it is to them to win, especially Meghan. I mean, she's very formidable in that she has to win." Leo asked, "And do you think King Charles will retaliate in any way? I mean, there's been talk of him stripping their titles. In theory, that's going round. In practice, I don't think it will happen because he does love Harry," said Levin. "And then you're in the state where you hate what your child is doing, but something inside you makes you want to love them. And I think that the family are very anxious about what could happen if they parted, or the state that Harry could be in. And I know they are there for him. The door is open, but he doesn't take any advantage of that. He's just behaving as Meghan tells him. He's more like a sort of servant to her really, and listens to what she's doing." She explained, "But there is a politician who wants to bring it to Parliament, and he wants to go back to Germany and Britain in 1917, the First World War, and bring in where that Germans couldn't take their British titles with them. They could be wiped out. And he wants to bring this to Parliament next week and make sure that they could do that. But he's just not very well known. It'll be something that he says and then everyone will move on. But it's very difficult to remove their titles because they can take off Duke and Duchess. But they can't take away Prince Harry because he's in the line. I think it's very difficult to know what to do. I mean, William is furious. Charles is very sad about it and trying to calm things down." Levin continued, "Prince Harry called home and said he'd love to come for Christmas. And then, shock horror, Meghan spoke to King Charles as well. But I wonder why on earth did they do that? Did they do that because they knew the book was coming, so they wanted to really make it hard for them? But they would actually get lots of stories that they could then sell. And I think that they're in such a sort of nasty place now that they could think like that. But it doesn't make sense why you would phone your father when you knew this would be coming out. I can't believe they weren't shown it. And I can't believe they didn't look at it very carefully.